In this video, I'm going to share with you a method to help you break 90 every single time. And as well as that method, I'm also going to share some other tips that are going to help you play your best golf ever. Before I share this first tip with you, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button on the channel. Let's go and find out how we're going to play our best golf. Now, our friends at ShotScope have provided us with some data, and one of the things that they provided us with is the battle between hybrid and iron. And the stats show, just here if we take a look, that the higher handicapper and the golfer that is trying to break 90 is categorically better using a hybrid versus a long iron when playing into the green. So if you're faced with one of those shots and you're maybe in between the clubs, I would suggest that we start to use the hybrid a little bit more. The way these clubs are built, they just allow for a little bit more forgiveness. Even with the sole of the club, it's easier for a little better turf interaction, and it's going to launch the ball a little bit higher. But if you are a player who still has the 3 iron, the 4 iron in your golf bag, and you're looking to break 90, maybe it's time to look at investing in a hybrid, because as the stats show, you are categorically better when hitting one of these versus the long iron. Now, one little tip when we are going to be using the hybrids, try and treat them like an iron. And what I mean by that is that you are going to try and take a small divot, not the same size you would take with your pitching wedge, but we want to try and brush the ground. The common mistake with these clubs and fairway woods is that as we address it and we're coming down to hit it, we lean back in an A to try and help the golf ball up. The way these clubs are built, there's a lot of weight at the bottom of the sole and they're easy to launch. That's going to work for you in your favour. So just try and take that little divot and you're going to see you get more success with your hybrid club. Launched and green hit. Another area where we could see our scores improve is here in the bunkers, and it's not the Seve-like bunker shot that the handicapper who is trying to break 90 struggles with. It's actually leaving it in the bunker. If we look here as to what a 14 handicapper does to a 20 handicapper and a 26 handicapper, we can see that the 20 handicapper leaves it in nearly double the amount that a 14 handicapper does, and the 26 handicapper leaves it in nearly triple the amount. So actually getting out of the bunkers first time is paramount. We see it's down at 1% for a 0 handicapper, the amount that they leave the ball in the bunker. So if we escape a little bit more frequently and first time, we're going to see the scores come down. And there's a real simple tip that I can give you to help you do that. If you were to have another golf ball and made an imprint directly behind it, push it into the sand, leaves a nice imprint. We can get rid of that one there. This is our target that we're going to be hitting, because a lot of golfers, the higher handicappers in particular, when faced with a bunker, probably because of the severity of the lip, we try and think that we need to lift the golf ball over. So we end up hitting too far behind the golf ball, or we end up catching the equator or the top of it, resulting in a duff into the face or a thin into the face. Now that we've made that little imprint behind there with our other ball, and if you're out on the course playing, just imagine that it's there, all we simply want to do is set up square, get more weight towards the target, have the face square, don't open it out, just learn to do it with your most lofted wedge nice and square. And from there then, all I want you to do is try and make a full swing and take out that imprint of the golf ball. Then we should start to see we get out of the bunkers more frequently. Boom, it's out, it's bouncing towards the back of the green, but we're safely out. We're not faced with another bunker shot. Get out the bush. The next tip is all about compounding errors. It's a given that we're all going to hit bad shots out on the golf course, and one of the things that the high handicapper maybe gets suckered into is thinking that actually to shoot lower scores we need to make more birdies and pars. Well, actually it's double bogeys that need eliminating, and we can see just here the difference between the amount of double bogeys a 26 handicapper makes versus a scratch handicapper and a 14 handicapper. It's quite different. So it's not that we need to make loads of birdies. What we don't need to do is compound the error. For instance, I've missed the fairway here and I've only got 85 yards up to the green. You can see from this angle, I've got to hit a very heroic shot out of some deep heather, over a corner of gorse, a bunker in play. I've got to hit the perfect shot, and a lot of the time we try and hit this shot because we're panicking. Our minds are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour thinking, oh no, it's a terrible situation, I need to do something to remedy quickly. And we take on a shot that we have no business in taking, and generally, oh dear, they go pretty badly. So in these scenarios, don't let your mind race at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Just think, well actually, where do I want to play my next shot from? We know that the hero shot is going to be the stupid one. I've only got 85 yards. If I could advance it even 40 yards down towards the middle of the fairway, that's going to leave me a pretty basic chip up onto the green. If I do that well, and then I have a couple of putts, I've turned what could be a 6, a 7, an 8, a terrible number, into maybe even a bogey, and if I'm lucky, who knows? You might get that up and down from nowhere. So just think, when you get into these terrible situations, let's limit those big catastrophe numbers. Think where would be a good place to play my next shot from and try and build the score. From then you can make a pretty simple, stress-free swing, get back into play, and from there we're good to build the scores. Another area where we could drastically improve our scores is the short game, and having a little bit of variety and showing a lot of love to a different club. For example, good golfers, when they face with shots around the green, don't just go to one particular club. They take a selection of clubs and have a selection of different shots that can get them close to the hole each time. For example, take a look at here at the difference between a good and a bad player in how they are using their golf clubs. We can see that the bad player tends to stick with 1, maybe 2 golf clubs, as where the good player is using a variety of golf clubs to get themselves around the green. So next time you're out on the golf course, instead of just always pulling for that lob wedge, which tends to be the go-to for the higher handicapper, thinking that that is their only chipping club, try and choose different clubs. If you've not got much of an obstacle like I have here, take a less lofted club. Try an 8 iron, a 9 iron, play it like a putting stroke. If you have maybe a little bit of elevation you need to get over, maybe try a sand wedge. If it's an extreme one where we need a lot of height, try a lob wedge. But just try a few different clubs, because if you were to pull the lob wedge in this scenario and then not quite catch it, the chances are you're going to leave yourself with either another chip or another long putt. So just try altering and get used to using different shots and different clubs, and we'll start to see that you're probably going to save a few shots around the green. Now, before I share this new method with you, if you have enjoyed the video, do remember to give us a little subscribe down below, totally free to do. And the new method that I want to share with you is called the 1-4-5 method. And what I mean by that is that the average par 4 on a golf course is between 320 yards and 450 yards. So somewhere on average round about 380 yards. Now, as we look here, we can see how far golfers are hitting the golf ball. And for the 1-4-5 method, we can see that a 20 handicapper is hitting their 7 iron 146 yards. For the 26 handicapper, we're going to be looking in the region of a 5 iron. Today, I'm here at the 15th hole at Formby Ladies Golf Club, 368 yards. It is very windy, but my 9 iron goes 145 yards through the air. So what we can do by this is, by hitting this 3 times, we would see that I would be up either on the green or very close to the front of the green with 3 strokes, albeit they have to be half decent shots. But it means sometimes that we get away from being overfaced by the length of the golf course. The average golf course has 12.5 par 4s on them. So if you've got the option to hit 3 7 irons to it, chip and a putt and make a bogey, you're then going to be breaking that 90. Testing, tapping. And that is the 1-4-5 method. So find a club that you can hit around that 150 mark. The main reason for it is not to be scared by the length of the golf course. You don't have to hit it Bryson length to break 90. Use those tips and you should see you're starting to shoot your best scores. As well, why not check out this video here to see how far you actually should be hitting your driver.